So the other day, for a brief moment, I had lost connection to the internet on my phone when I was switching to my Wi-Fi. Never before had I felt so alone and disconnected from the world. It was like something straight out of a horror movie. But about a second later, my phone connected back to the internet, and an intense feeling of relief washed over me. For that brief half a second, I remembered what it was like to live without the internet, a much simpler time. Then that got me thinking about the digital divide, a term used to describe the gap between those who have access to the internet to those who don't. Traditionally, the digital divide is a question of having or not having access to the internet, but since 95% of the world has a mobile phone with access to the internet, it's become a question about those who have more or less bandwidth and skills. But the digital divide isn't only about whether or not you have access to the internet. You can look at individuals, organizations, countries, age, wealth, geography, sector, access, actual usage, and effective adoption. Basically, you can divide the digital divide in a buttload of ways. 260 ways, in fact. But of course, phones aren't the only way you can connect to the internet. You can use computers, MP3 players, potato consoles like the Xbox or whatever, book readers, tablets, etc. Since all of these goodies come out almost yearly, maybe monthly, people say that the digital divide is closing. But among women, racial and ethnic minorities, people with lower incomes, rural residents, and those less educated, the connectivity has been lacking as opposed to others. But I'm not saying that all people within these groups are the only ones that aren't connected. Really, it depends on three big factors. Where you live, like say you live, I don't know, in Antarctica or something. The internet won't be as great as it is in, I don't know, say Los Angeles. Mainly because you're basically living in the middle of nowhere and all the internet cables and stuff are frozen solid. I'm joking, by the way. I think. Maybe. I don't know. Then there's your skill. I mean, you can't connect to the internet if you don't know how to, right? For example, when I got my first Surface computer, I didn't know how to turn the thing on. So naturally I couldn't use Firefox because I didn't know how to work the damn thing. Then lastly, there's the applications, like Firefox and stuff. I used to use Internet Explorer, in fact. Yeah, I know, but don't blame me, I was just a kid, okay? And most of the time I couldn't even connect to the internet despite it being called Internet Explorer. It's all lies, I tell you. I swear. Yeah, and then I switched over to Firefox, then my life turned around. I became a more complete person. All of these things usually don't come cheap though. First you have to pay for the device, then you have to pay for access, then maybe the application, usually with an arm or a leg. Then yeah, it's rough. So there's the financial situation too. Not everyone can afford this stuff, but there are services out there that you can use to access the internet, like libraries or whatever. So like I said before, people say the digital divide is closing, and yeah, I agree with them. And yeah, while I was thinking about all this stuff, my phone connected back to the internet, and I went back on Reddit. Then I looked at eye bleach to get over my traumatic experience. Yeah, it was, that time wasn't fun.